Hello everyone, Elvis X here, welcoming you back to Dubster Dive, the series where we take a look at something's English dub and let you know if it's worth a damn. And today, you all knew this was coming. Zip Shimezo, an OVA I've never heard of before, but it is the return of one Vic Mignogna. His first voice role in literal years at this point. So, what is Zip Shimezo? Before we get into the whole story of Vic's magnificent return and all that. Zip Shimezo was an OVA that's Japanese title is Chuck Shimezo, released in 2019 by Nippon Animation, their biggest claim to fame being 1999's Hunter x Hunter iteration. And the anime would be picked up by Anime Matsuri Studios, or AM Studios, and premiered on July 28th, 2022. You had to be in attendance to see it because, you know, stuff. The anime would recently launch on Amazon Prime streaming, except you had to pay for it. It's like $5 to own or whatever, in July of 2023. So yeah, they did license another OVA as well called Genba Nojo, but as of right now, that has not been released at the time of this recording from what I've seen. I believe that did premiere at the convention as well last year, but yeah. Why they didn't release both at the same time, I have no idea. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, what is Zip Shimezo about and all that? Well, it's really weird. So it follows a zipper spirit named Shimezo, as you find out his family are a long line of zipper spirits whose sole purpose is to zip up zippers that humans forget to zip up because stupidity or something. Humans are too lackadaisical and I didn't remember to zip up my coat! No! So that's where the zipper spirits come in. It's really strange. And yeah. So Shimezo is constantly being, I guess, chastised by his family because he can't zip up a single zipper. And it means that he's not very good at his job. As we meet our other protagonist around the same time, Hiroki. Hiroki is a young boy that feels like he's not being appreciated by his family. So eventually he decides to run away from home, thinking that'll show his mom for not appreciating him enough, because she seems to care more about his sibling than him. And he ends up running into Shimezo, and the two of them go on a journey of self-discovering. Not a very long journey since this OVA clocks in at around 20 minutes, and that is one of my pet peeves with it. It's way too short, so yeah, they have to cram in a lot of story in such a short amount of time. But you all know where this is going. The story is pseudo-cliched. They learn a valuable lesson. Hiroki learns that his mother does indeed love him and his other sibling equally. Shimezo learns that his family also does care for him, and they go home and have fun. If you're going to say spoilers, it's a kid's OVA. You all know what to expect. Now, as far as animation goes, I mean, it's an OVA. Never heard anyone complain about it. Music is also average from what I could tell. It was alright. Nothing that's outstanding, but nothing terrible either. But let's get to the reason you all are actually here. This is Dubster Dive after all. So the ADR director was, of course, one Vic Mignogna, with the producer being Jacob Takanashi, which I believe he's an associate of Nippon, who's working with AM Studios, if I'm not mistaken, from everything I looked up. I could be off on that, someone will correct me. But yeah. This was Vic's, I believe, second ADR role after being the lead ADR director for Juni Tyson's Zodiac War. That says it's season 1 on its box set. I'll see season 2 anywhere, man. It's been years. Now, as far as the script and all that, I couldn't find who the scriptwriter was, unfortunately. The directing, though, did seem pretty alright. I don't really have any issues with the dub itself or anyone's performances. So, speaking of performances, let's get to who everyone is. First, we have Shimezo, our protagonist, voiced by Vic Mignogna. I gotta be fair. I call anyone who casts themselves as the main character an asshole. That means you, Vic. Now everyone knows Vic, Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, Kurtz Weber from Full Metal Panic, the first voice of Broly from DBZ, Saba from One Piece. I could keep going. His resume speaks for itself. And as mentioned, this was his first voice role since the 2019 incident. And I'm happy to hear him back in, the voice acting role again. That being said, it's slightly ruined by the fact Shimezo's voice is filtered to hell and back because Shimezo's a small spirit, so, he has a higher pitched filter on and everything. But that aside, Vic obviously did a good job voicing him. Shimezo means well and really just wants to try his best, and they do an okay job, I guess, making you root for him. Now, let's play the game of everyone else in this dub that's probably blacklisted now for obvious reasons, for daring to side alongside Vic Mignogna. First, we have Shime Papa. Yeah, that's his name, Shimezo's daddy. Voiced by Jeff Johnson, Demiurge from Overlord, and Makoto Takiya from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And again, does a good job. He's voicing the old guy who's like, I've zipped up like 800 zippers today. Just to try telling Shimezo, come on, son, if I could do this, well, you can too. What the hell? I'm an old man. So, that's his whole thing. After him, we have Shime Mama, who's obviously the mama of Shimezo, voiced by Linda Young, Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho, and fortune teller Baba, as well as the first or older voice of Frieza from DBZ. Not really the first voice, that was Ocean. The first Funimation voice. There you go. Again, she does as well as, too. She is the one lecturing Shimezo, constantly saying, this is an old family heritage, you need to prove yourself better, son, etc., because she wants what's best for him and doesn't want him to be completely useless. Now we've got Hiroki's family. First, Hiroki himself, our other main character, who's with Shimezo the entire time. Voiced by Morgan Berry. We will get to the controversy with that, do not worry. I like saving that stuff till the end now. Morgan Berry is Polka from Deadmau5 Deathplay. That series is also decent. Yohane from Love Live Sunshine, and Moroha from Yashahime. Best girl in that series. And I think she does alright. I don't have any complaints about her performance. She's actually pretty solid at voicing Shota characters, in my opinion. After her, we have Chie, Hiroki's little sister, who's voiced by Crystal Laporte, who's Mirai from Beyond the Boundary, and Esmeralda from Reign of the Seven Spellblades. And I don't think I've heard Crystal get her voice this high-pitched before, since Chie is extremely young, to the point where, a lot of her dialogue is crying and screaming. And she also wants to get along with her brother. I should mention, Hiroki's at that age where, he's just wants to be noticed, blah, blah, blah. So, Chie actually ends up running away from home with Hiroki, being like, hey, if you're gonna run, I'm running too. And Hiroki's like, no, you can't come with me. And Chie does the whole threaten to tell their mother thing. Anyone who has siblings knows what that shit's like. See, I was the youngest sibling in my family, so I was the dick. Anyways, back on topic. I think Crystal did a good job with her. After her, we have Mrs. Hirose, who's Hiroki's mom, voiced by Ashley Nichols, who everything I could look up is an artist who worked on the Has-Been Hotel pilot, as well as the co-creator of the series Far-Fetched. I've never seen Far-Fetched. I've seen the Has-Been Hotel pilot, though. And yeah, whenever I typed in Ashley Nichols and voice actor and all that, this is the only person that came up. So I hope it's the same person, otherwise this is going to be awkward. Regardless, I think she did a solid job. As the caring mother. Because Chie is sick at the start of the OVA, which is why, Hirose is worried about her more than Hiroki. But Hiroki, being a dumb kid, doesn't understand that right away and thinks he's just being ignored. So, yeah. She was used to coming across as the caring parent. Now their neighbor, who's barely in this, but screw it, this OVA is short, so I'm going to cover everyone that I can. Miss Kobayashi, who's voiced by Cynthia Krantz. Chi-Chi from DBZ, the one with that incest DBZ leak from a few years ago. That made a lot of people feel awkward. And Botan from Yu Yu Hakusho. And again, very few lines, but I don't have any complaints. Same with the rest of the people on this cast list, like Hiroki's grandfather, Brian Massey, who's Teppei from Higurashi Go and Sotsu, and Gumshoe from the Ace Attorney anime. Again, no complaints. You don't really get much on these characters in particular with how little screen time they have. Like his grandmother, voiced by Haley Todd, who's Naka from Azure Lane, and Akishina from Miss Caretaker of Sunahara Su. Both performances are fine what they are, but as stated, this is only 20 minutes, so you don't get much on these people. The last one I want to go over is the one that really surprised me, and I'm sure a lot of other people too. The cat lady. That's all she's credited as. So, when Hiroki and Shimezo and Chie are on their adventure, they come across a lady with a bunch of cats. Voiced by Tiffany Vollmer, the original Funimation voice of Bulma, also Betsy from Case Closed, but more importantly, the original voice of Bulma. In my opinion, the best voice of Bulma. I thought that even before the Monica shit, before anyone says anything. But, yeah, she's someone I wish got a little more in this OVA. Again, I didn't even recognize her because I'm more used to her Bulma voice when I heard her in this, but she did fine for, like, the one scene she's in. And that's everyone on the main cast list. Again, no complaints about the dub itself. Are these performances going to change your life or whatever? Nah, I'd say everyone had an adequate performance. This isn't a dub like a Full Metal Alchemist or a Hellsing Ultimate that's going to be like, oh my god, wow factor. But it's fine for what it is. It's a kids OVA anime thing that is a little strange with the zipper fiasco. And that's all I've really got to say on it. The one thing this OVA is going to be remembered for most, in my opinion, is the fact that it is the return of Vic Mignogna's voice career, as well as the start of an entire dub studio's up-and-coming beginning and all that. And speaking of that, let's get to the controversy surrounding it. Of course, people would uncontrollably the second this dub came out at Anime Matsuri last year. Monica Royale said she blocked everyone who was a part in this, saying she refuses to associate with anyone who's aware of what happened to her and Jamie, being Jamie Markey or Mark, you know. And yeah, of course. Meanwhile, Morgan Berry decided to try claiming she didn't know who she was working with. That as a freelance voice actor, there are often times you don't know who the ADR director is or who else is in the show. You acted off Vic the entire time, and he was the director, allegedly. Unless you worked with Jacob, but regardless, I still think this was a really shitty move, Morgan. I'm sorry. And because of that, now no one gives a shit about her. The Vic stans all think she's a piece of shit for slapping him in the face, myself included, by the way. And Monica and her crew all think she's a piece of shit because how dare she star in something alongside Vic. Congratulations, Morgan. No one cares about you. Which is hilarious because Hiroki literally says in this anime that no one wants him around after getting into a heated argument with his mother. Now that is definitely art imitating life if I've ever seen it. Now, that being said, controversy aside, I still think Morgan Berry did do a solid job in this anime. Like I said before, I can look past my bias when I need to. Now, would I recommend checking out this OVA itself? And what's my overall opinion on it? I don't know. It didn't click with me as much as I hoped it would. I thought this, you know, I was hoping this was the big, epic, massive return of Vic, you know, like some epic film quality stuff. And it was just a generic OVA that's going to be forgotten to time like so many others, in my opinion. If you thought it was amazing or disagree with me, that's cool. But from my standpoint, I'm glad I bought it to support Vic and all, but this is one I feel, if you're not a hardcore, I guess, Vic Mignogna fan, or at least a fan of a lot of these voice actors like Tiffany Vollmer or something, you could probably skip this OVA and not really miss all that much. I am wondering, though, what they have in the future. Again, Genba Nojo is an OVA I wouldn't mind checking out, and we'll be back here again. And I heard that they have the rights to a 26-episode full-length anime that they are working on since last year, which I do wonder what that is. So, yeah. That being said, OVA quality aside, I am extremely happy Vic Mignogna is back. And, you know, I'm glad, you know, these voice actors, at least a good chunk of them, haven't really said anything to my knowledge, the exception being Morgan Berry. We'll see where this goes from here, though. I'm interested to see who else could be in the rest of AM Studios' future, and, you know, maybe this is a good place for aspiring voice actors who don't want to deal with the click bullshit to get started. Hopefully this studio does pick up stream and all that stuff. That's the one reason I would say if you're interested to maybe pick up Shimezo, since it is cheap and all, and you would be giving money to AM Studios if that's your thing. But that's going to do it for this one. MVP of the dub. I guess I could give it to Vic for my bias. You might say, well, yeah, but it's not Mignogna March. Fuck you, my birthday was a few days ago, so I'm breaking my rule a bit. But even aside from that, I think Morgan Berry also did a really good job too, despite her bullshit. And that's really going to do it for this one. So, as far as next time, not sure yet. There's plenty of stuff on the table, and I hope you all really enjoyed this look at Zip Shimezo. A very strange OVA that I'll probably never rewatch again, to be honest. No, I should stop dogging on it so much. Like I said, I'm just happy Vic's back. But until next time, guys, thanks again so much for watching, and I hope you all join me for the next episode I've. So, till then. See you later!